Rory Fallon, we've come to the conclusion of your long football career.
Yeah.
Talk us through those feelings and emotions from tonight, and share with us some of the memories of your time with the All Whites.
I just think, I knew it was going to come. My goal was to get to the squad. It wasn't necessarily to play or to score goals, it was to get to the squad. I worked really hard to get into it, and I eventually got into it, and I just embraced every moment, really. Try to get to know the boys more, and the staff, and just try to cherish every moment, and I have, and it's been great. Would have been great to have got to another World Cup, but can't be greedy. I've been to one, so I just feel sorry for the lads that are around my age, like Jura and Mossy and a couple of other boys, that won't have that opportunity, to get that.
Is this a decision that seems natural and right to you in this pair of games? Was it something that you had turned over in your mind prior to flying into Auckland and then Wellington?
Yeah, my mind was set. I had a good chat with my wife. My mind was set on trying to finish on a high. I know we didn't necessarily win, but I felt that I felt it was a great level to finish on. You can't get better than the last game of qualifying at a World Cup qualifier, and I just thought that's the perfect time for me to just bow out. Obviously there's young boys coming through, and they need we need new leaders now.
Speaking of new leaders, you touched on in your discussion with the squad, I understand some of those personalities that will drive the All Whites forward into the future. Who are they, and what qualities do they bring to that mission?
Well, obviously you've got Woodsy and Winnie for a start. They've got at least probably 2 more World Cups in them. Woodsy maybe more. And then you got younger lads coming through, Ryan Thomas, good players. Just the whole nucleus of a team is there. And with people like Clayton going to England, he'll have another 4 more years to get English games under his belt. It's another 4 more years that these young lads turn into men. Because what we found with the 2010 team was that we were all at peak age. We were men at our peak. And the planets aligned. All the timings, all the luck came for us, and it was just meant to be. A team bond that was unbreakable. But I felt that we had this. But I think on the night, Peru were just too good.
Now, no interview like this can really go without mentioning the legacy of the Fallon name within the All Whites history. Describe what that Fallon legacy is for us, beginning with Kevin, obviously, and now ending here, perhaps for now.
Well, I got my dad, took the team to the 82 World Cup with John Essed. A lot of those guys he coached, as well as Gisborne City. And I grew up through all that time. I was born in 82. So all those guys were my heroes, the 82 team. So I looked up to them because I didn't really follow English teams. I watched English teams, but my local closest team to me was the teams that my dad was coaching, or the All Whites. So that was my team, the All Whites. But then there was a lot of years during that time where it was just really nothing, so you just kind of look somewhere else. Obviously my dad, took under 17 teams and got players to professional clubs, and obviously he took me, David Mulligan. We both went over to England and pursued our dreams. And I'm still in England after 18 years. But now it's come to the end. I'm still going to be living in England, but that's me completely done for club and country. And then also, then it continues on to the 2010 team, 2009 Bahrain, where it just really probably cemented the Fallon name in All Whites history books.
Let's talk about that 2010 team, because that's the World Cup that you played in. It was a very special group, and a group that had peaked. It was a group that had matured. They turned a corner at the Confederations Cup, all the way through to that final game with Paraguay. There's a lot that must have taken place in there on and off the pitch.
So much. But what I was saying to Smeltsy, I said to Smeltsy, with that team, I believed I could go. For me, I believed I could play any team and beat them, and I didn't care who they were. I just felt, you know, when you're in a team like that, you just feel like you're just undefeatable. And you know, when we did go to that World Cup, you know, we were all disappointed not to get to the next round. You know, because for the next batch of All Whites, that's what it's going to have to take to beat our team. They're going to have to win a game, or they're going to have to get through the next round. And that's what I wanted this team to do. I wanted to be a part of that, because I felt like we had a mixture of youth, age, experience, but it just wasn't meant to be, you know.
How does it feel to say the words out loud that you're finished with clubs and country?
It's surreal, because, you know, as a young boy, you think that you're going to be playing forever, and then you realise I'm 35 now, and I'm getting to a stage where I don't want to be going into my 40s, not being able to walk. You know, there's all these factors, and I've had 18 years. You know, some people don't even get 1 year. So I'm just truly blessed, truly thankful. Thankful to my wife, to my family, to the fans out there, and even to the people that you know, didn't like me, because they were the ones really that got me up in the morning, the ones that thought I wasn't good enough, or, you know, all them types of people. They were the ones that got me up, really, because I wanted to prove them wrong.
You used the word blessed, and I know that you've grasped adversity as something to push back against, but you also have a strong faith.
Yeah.
How much of a role has that faith played in the career that you've enjoyed?
Massively, because the last probably 3 years of my club football has been horrific. But it was that faith, and it was that getting up in the mornings and training when I didn't want to. That was the thing that kept me going. It was my faith that kept me believing that I could get to this point. And I did, and I'm just thankful for it. You know, I'm blessed to be with guys like you, Jace, and the staff, and just the lads. You know, I've had a blast, man. Pranked a lot of lads.
What will you miss the most?
The lads, yeah. Going out, training with them, hanging out with them, playing with them.
Pranking them?
Pranking them, having banter with them. I'm going to miss that. 100% I will. But it's time to move on.
And what is your parting message to the All Whites who continue on, and potential All Whites of the future?
Well, just what I said today in the meeting. I just told them they need to keep grasping and grafting everything they can possibly get out of the game. You know, whether they've got coaches that are going to help them to, you know, get in the weights room and just do the extra, to do that graft, to get to where they need to be, to have that dream, to have that goal, whether it be a professional for 18 years or longer, or to get in a World Cup. It takes a lot of sacrifice, and only when you start doing it do you realise how much you lose. I've lost a lot of years of not seeing my family. I've probably seen them a handful of times over 18 years, because I've been living in England trying to get clubs. I've lost a lot, but I've gained a lot as well. So people need to realise what they need to sacrifice, because there is sacrifice with everything. That's something as big as a World Cup or being a professional for 18 years.
Fans will want me to ask about the goal against Bahrain again. You've talked about it extensively in the past, but it keeps cropping up, and it will keep cropping up as the years go by. It was a special moment. It was a turnkey moment in New Zealand football history. How do you see it now at 35 and on your way out of the game?
I still get goosebumps when I talk about it and when I think about it. I think just the dynamic of it, the whole aspect of what happened, the waiting for so long, my dad taking the first team to the World Cup, me scoring that goal to get us to the next World Cup. It's just a great story, most of all. And possibly one of the greatest sporting nights New Zealand's ever seen. And it was 90 minutes away from a World Cup, and our team really took that opportunity and we didn't waste it. And I cherish that the most, because that was a bunch of players that just were so hungry for it. And I know there's going to be another team come up soon, and I'm looking forward to watching them and not having to be under the gun. So because that game we were under the gun, we were under pressure, and we produced the goods. And I'm looking forward to just watching it as a bystander.
Rory Fallon, thank you for everything.
Thank you.